I think people get tattooed because, there's not a lot of real stuff left in the world. And it's all like a 24-hour news cycle. Nothing lasts. With tattooing, it's blood, it's pain, it's permanence. When you get that needle in your skin for the first time, you have to be there. You can't just call it in. You have to sit there and take the pain, and then sit there and heal it. And then you got to live with the consequences of your action.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the East West Podcast with Horisumi. Welcome to the show. Today is Friday, September 29th, 2023. I want to thank you all that bought the t-shirts off my website after the last episode, where for the first time in a couple of years I promoted my merchandise. So we've got shirts, prints, pins, all sorts of cool shit. Horisumi.com, and you'll see the link to the little store there. I appreciate that stuff. It doesn't really have much to do with the podcast, but if you want a cool t-shirt or some cool stuff, it's there to be had. So we'll get right into it today. I read a lot of stuff online, right? And not just tattoo stuff. I read a lot of normie stuff and political shit, and I swim in a lot of these waters sometimes. And I've noticed a big trend in normal people, regular people, not even squares, just regular people, disparaging tattoos a lot, talking shit about tattoos, talking shit about people with tattoos, how it, this has always been a thing, right? People with tattoos are low class. People with tattoos are, committing social suicide. When you're heavily tattooed with your hands and your face and your neck, there becomes a glass ceiling that you can't rise past socially or employment-wise sometimes. And I talk about this as well, right? And I don't disagree. But these guys that I'm talking about right now, they're talking about anyone with tattoos and, and how it's a bad look, and, women with tattoos are a red flag, all stuff. And that kind of stuff, I thought that we had moved past that. And I think maybe for a while we did. But in this era of ridiculous trends and garbage tattooing, I think it's all come back a lot stronger. Whereas sensible people, right, like regular people that, look, tattoos mean different things to everybody, right? You getting tattooed, fuck, who cares what that guy fucking thinks, right? I'm talking as a social observation. Normal, regular, working people seeing the silly stuff that people are getting these days. And I spoke about in my last podcast, right? I was talking about serious tattooing and how I'm a big fan of it. It's the only tattooing I do and I really like. And I just noticed lately a lot of, people outside of the tattoo world noticing as well how much tattooing is fucking ridiculous, right? Silly stuff, like see, girls at the gym with just fucking outline. These are young, pretty girls trying to get fit, and they're just covered in fucking garbage, right? Like just shit all over themselves, little quotes and little triangles and little drawings of cats, and what the fuck is going on? Like, where is this shit coming from, right? Where's the social contagion of that stuff? I'm assuming it's TikTok and Pinterest and stuff like this, but holy shit, man, it just looks trash. And so I agree with these normies that are saying that girls that have that stuff on them, it just looks like fucking trash. It's a red flag. You look like a fucking idiot, right? It's not good tattooing, And unpopular opinion again, it's better to be hated for who you are than loved for who you are not, right? And I'm just an honest person in this stuff, and I liked it. And this is why I make this content, because if I can shape the momentum of some people's lives in a good direction, I've done my job, right? And so, I look at tattooing as talismans, right? As personal power symbols. It's said that on my website for probably a decade now, right? You get a fucking cool tattoo, you get a tiger back piece, or a warrior sleeve, or a snake sleeve, or something like this, right? Not only should the artwork be good, right? And the technique nice, and the finish good tattoo, right? In all the sense, good drawing, good technique, good finish, healed nice, looks good in the skin. But the content needs to be something that's powerful, that invigorates you, right? You look at it and you go, fuck yeah, right? And not just now, not just when you're like going through a phase, right? But your whole life. This is a personal power symbol that you derive energy from, an inspiration, right? And this is what I spoke about in my last podcast, was that so much tattooing now is seen as cheap and temporary and, glib, right? Just silly stuff, right? And I fucking hate it. And I think tattoos should be something that you invest in the whole fucking thing, right? Who's doing it? Why are they doing it? It's like people that go to fancy restaurants, right? Or you buy designer clothing, and I spoke about this. You're buying into the provenance of the designer as well. These bags are made here, or these shoes are made there, and they cost a lot because of X, Y, Z, right? But it's not just the cost, it's the way they're fabricated, the material, where they're made, all this kind of stuff, right? And so tattooing is, I think, it would be great if there was a more awareness around this aspect of it, and people were proud of the tattoos they have. There's so much, for every maybe one good tattoo done, there's 100 shit tattoos done, right? And I feel sorry for these older dudes that wanted to get cool tattoos when they were young, and they just went to the local guy and they got sleeves of garbage, and then they come to me and they laser it off and we start again, and I'm happy to do that. But it'd be cool if there was a greater respect around tattooing in the beginning, that this didn't happen, right? That most tattooing, you're never gonna get all of it, but if tattooers and clients both had the same ideology of what a tattoo is and should be, in terms of the purpose of the tattoo. What is the purpose of the tattoo, right? The purpose of the tattoo is to aesthetically please yourself, maybe look tough, look sexy, look, something for other people. But, at the end of the day, it's for you. You have to wear it, right? So if you get that tiger back piece and it's awe-inspiring to look at, it's there, right? It's like wearing a suit of armor. It's like having a talisman from the church, or whatever your belief system is. You know what I mean? And we can derive a sense of personal power from our tattoo, right? And you contrast that with all the stuff being done these days by silly people, right? And I'm being kind by saying silly people. You've got popular culture. You've got the narcissistic Instagram girls that are, just fucking taking endless selfies of themselves at the gym, them training, them having lattes, looking for clicks, looking for likes, looking for dudes to slide into the DM, whatever the fuck they're doing. I don't get it, right? I find that whole e-girl thing kind of fucking really off-putting, right? Then you've got the men, the soy jack, Marvel Universe addicted, porn addicted, simping to the OnlyFans girls. You've got that cohort getting tons of tattoos, silly shit, lots of fucking anime tattoos and this outline stuff and just fucking video game based tattoos, right? I want nothing to do with that, right? I don't think that's real tattooing. I don't think that's serious tattooing. Look, some of it gets done here, and if the artist and the client want to do it, I'm not going to get in the way of that. But I'm talking to you about what I think about tattooing and the ideology that I want to put forward, right? Whereas, I think you should be able to look at your tattoo every day for your whole fucking life and be proud of what you got, be inspired by what you got, and be happy with what you got, and have no regrets. No regrets on the content, no regrets on the technique and the detail. You're supposed to look in the mirror, and like the Japanese mentality of tattooing is that you don't show it all the time, right? It's a special thing. So when people see it, they're a little bit awestruck, right? But it's not, you don't walk around in a fucking hot pants all the time showing the whole world, because it loses its power, loses its shine if it's too common. And this is one of the problems with what Instagram's done to tattooing. It's made big tattoos, made all tattoos too common, right? You can just sit there and bodysuit, 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 back piece, bodysuit, bodysuit. And these are, tattoos that are hundreds of hours each. And people just swipe past them like they're nothing, right? When in fact, there's a lot more to it. It'd be like, an architectural Instagram page where you're just like, classic building, classic building, classic building, classic building, and it does nothing, evokes a feeling from you or an emotion. You're just so numb to seeing so much beautiful architecture that you just don't care. And that's what's kind of happened to tattooing. And maybe, I'm just thinking out loud here, maybe because the little stuff, the little outline stuff, and the little puny shit tattoos, because they're small, you see them big on your screen, people go, oh, that's cool. Whereas if you see a full back piece, everything's, because it's a larger tattoo, everything's smaller, it's not as, not as exciting, not as emotive, right? Who knows? But I find it interesting. So I think it's, I would like to see more thought and more care put in by the clients. Look, there's going to be, in every trade and industry, there's always going to be charlatans and grifters and the guys out for the quick buck. And so much of the, I guess now too, there's so many people that do Japanese tattooing and they don't really know what they're doing, especially with the backgrounds. As I've said 1,000 times, you get a Japanese sleeve, it's very hard to get rid of. You're not covering it. You'd have to laser the whole fucking thing to effectively cover it. But there's so many people out there just doing knockoff stuff, right? They haven't studied, they haven't learned to draw, they don't understand what they're doing. And unfortunately for the client, they don't know that that guy doesn't know. And it'd be really cool if somewhere along the way there was a way that people could care more about their fucking tattoos. I'm very fortunate in that my clients, they seek out something, they find me, they come to me, we talk, we do it. But I can only do so many tattoos. I'm booked out for maybe a year and a bit at the moment. Maybe a year and a half, hard to say, And I would just like to see the whole landscape of tattooing have a much more ideological approach to what it is we're doing and how important it is, And that way there'd be a little more, maybe comradeship amongst tattooers on the same page, right? A lot of people, I've talked about this for a while now, a lot of people, they want to be part of something bigger than themselves, but at the end of the day, you have to draw, you have to learn, you have to study. You have to study. If that means traveling and going somewhere and working with somebody and learning, that's what you have to do, right? And for you, the client that wants to get big work and you want to get that power symbol and that talisman, there's a lot more of you clients that want to get the big work and want to get cool Japanese stuff. There's a lot more of you out there than there are of serious artists doing this power talisman work. So for us, the tattooers, there's no shortage of clients in the sense if you do real tattooing. But for you, the client, you need to be discerning about who you choose to do your tattoo. You need to research, you need to see what it is you're getting, right? So that's the most important thing, because ideally, at the end of the day, it lands on you to get the right work, right? So when you're planning your next tattoo, just remember that you are trying to get something that's going to last your whole life. Don't rush into it. Don't go with the first guy that's available. Don't go with the cheapest guy. Plan for the future and get something that's going to inspire you for the rest of your lives. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.